Hi guys, I'm Zach Did a Thing from the Zach Did a Thing YouTube channel. It's been a bit. I guess I've just sort of been feeling... I declare I don't care no more! Yeah, but today's video, guys, we're starting like a new series. Like, I'm actually like really excited for this one. Today I'm starting my own Fakemon region. Well, as you guys know, I've made 2 videos making Fakemon, you know? Some to varying degrees of quality. For a while I've seen other people make their own regions, and I'm like, hey, I wanna do that, looks fun. I actually started this around like the beginning of the year, I believe. It's been a while since I started these starters. I wanted to make them as good as I could before I presented them to you guys, because I didn't want to like redesign them like 17 times, you know? I wanted them to just be good, you know?
Which is why I've been working on this for so long.
So I think we should start with the grass starter, because that's Pokedex orders, I think. So yeah, let's get into that. Sorry for the quality of like the speed paints. I uploaded these over Discord, so they're not as good. So the grass starter, right? It is based on a pangolin. If you don't know what a pangolin is, this is what it looks like. It's a cute little guy, little armored guy. This little guy came to me pretty easily. I put some armadillo elements into this entire line, mainly because I didn't want it to be too busy. Because pangolins, as you can see, have a lot of armor all over them, and it's really hard to do that on a little guy without it being like very crowded. So we didn't do that on this little guy. So the armor on this little guy is like made of leaves, because you know he's a little grass starter. I realized after the fact that I made him have bay leaves colors, so yeah, that was unintentional. So this is Leolin. If you want to go check out the Pokedex pages I made for this, you can go check him out on DeviantArt, and you can also check it out on my new Instagram that I made specifically for these little guys. I'll be posting like some actual little sketches of these guys because I think they're fun. So now let's go into his evolution. I didn't mention this during Leolin's speed paint. I actually sketched out all these guys like beforehand on paper, with like one exception, I think, just to get like a sort of gist on like what I wanted with these guys, because I find it easier to sketch on paper. So I wanted this like hunched look for him, right? And I wanted him to just look like he's sort of done with life, you know? Because like I feel like that's how a lot of teenagers are, and that's what the middle forms of most Pokemon are. They're just like teenagers, basically. I wasn't happy with that sketch originally, so I tried doing a different pose. I ended up going with the one I colored in because I didn't like the new one. I wanted to show more like division, I guess is the word, with the plates on him. I'm leading up to a concept, which I'll speak more on when I get to Patamolin's final evolution. Oh yeah, Patamolin, that's this guy's name. It comes from pangolin and another word that I genuinely don't remember. I don't remember why I named him Patamolin. I don't know if you noticed this, but I gave him like a little club thing at the end of his tail, sort of like a an ankylosaur, but you know, stylized. Yeah, that's Patamolin. Honestly, my favorite middle form for the starters, because I just think he looks a bit silly, and I think I could relate to that a lot. But enough of my yapping, let's just go on to the final stage. I actually made this one before I finalized the middle form, and after I finished this sketch, I finished Patamolin's art. I got the John Machine's Kaboomadillo and the other one, I forget what his name is, from his region. I forget what it's called. I'll show it up on screen right now. They're also based on pangolin, so I thought that was just good reference for me. I wanted his pose to sort of be like Blastoise and Turtonator, despite not being a turtle. And now I feel like it's very appropriate to talk about the theming for all these starters. These starters are all based on inventions made in China, which is also where this region is based off of. Originally, I had planned them to be more like the silhouette, right? But I decided to get a little more loose with that. I still went with that for the fire starters line, but for the rest of them it was more loose. And I feel for like the water starter, it's very on the edge of that, you know? I wanted to shade his shell, that's really hard to say, like how Alolan Sandslash's icicles are, because I've done that before, but like when I first did it on this, it looked very muddy and I didn't like it, so I decided to redesign it after a bit. I realized that the plating on the back was sort of just very messy and the perspective was off, so I'm fixing that. I also did this one in a car. I went off track for a second, I'm sorry, but I forgot to mention what he's actually based off of. So Jaegolyn is based off jade burial suits, which are these things, which for those of you who don't know, jade burial suits were suits made of jade, obviously, that were used to bury royal members in the Han Dynasty. The little like silver like star thing on his padding is meant to reference the silk thread that they would use. Depending on a person's status, they would use different threads. So like, for example, the lowest it would have been was copper. The highest it would have been was gold, which I used for the shiny. But for the base form, I decided to use silver. I was originally gonna have copper and like Patamolin's design somewhere, but I decided against it. I just couldn't find a place to put it, really. But yeah, this is Jaegolyn. Really happy with the new art I did of him. It looks a lot better, I think, and less muddier than the original that I did. I also forgot to mention again that he's a grass rock type now, because we only have one of those, and also jade is a rock. I don't know if you guys do that. It's a rock. You see that? That's a rock. And a little bonus gift. Well, here's a little concept art page I made for them. It's just how they interact and stuff, you know. For all the Drandaria videos that I'm gonna be making, I'm gonna be making concept art pages for all my little guys. I've said little guy a lot during this section. I'm sorry. I just like little guys. But yeah, so let's go on to the fire starter. 26 of you might recognize this design. I actually showed this design in a videos I didn't finish video. It was the fourth one. It was this one. But yeah, I have nothing else to say really about him besides what I said in that video. But I didn't change anything about him besides the one redesign because I think I nailed it already. I might come back to this eventually just to fix it up a tiny bit. But right now I'm really happy with it, and so I am with the rest of the line. I actually got this before I made the subjectively Pokemon brush pack. I just made this with the brushes that Procreate had already, so yeah, you don't need any fancy brush packs to do stuff like this. I just got them because I just thought it'd be easier for me. But yeah, so here's Fyrat. Not much to say about him really. I really like him. He was the first one I designed. He's an original sketch I did of him. Yeah, it looks a lot different, proportion-wise, I guess, and like everything. But yeah, let's go on to his next evolution. So when I originally made this, it was originally just a redesign of the design you see right there. That looks really yeah. So I wanted to keep that body plan originally, but I decided against that soon enough. Wanted Fuosho's ears to sort of resemble kites, but that's like kind of a stretch, I feel like. I changed his whole body plan up like a lot, as you'll see in a bit. I gave him a body plan that's very similar to Crocolore because I really like Crocolore. I think he's silly. Also, here's the original sketch I did of him. He looks a lot different, as you'll see. So yeah. Yeah, here's Fuosho. I don't remember why his name is that. All I know is that it has random Chinese in it, and that's all I know. I really like this silly little goober, and I'm just really, I'm just really speechless because he's just really good. But let's go on to the final evolution for this line. So this first sketch is just the redesign that I did of the original guy. You can see him here. I'm not going to zoom in on him because I really don't feel like it. I end up not going with this design, so don't get too attached to it, I guess. So Feueratt's invention that he's based on is a firework. He was the one I was talking about who, like, you could sort of see it in a silhouette. It's more of like your traditional firework rocket, you know? Because, like, you got the triangle top, you got the rectangle there, you know, it sort of looks like that. This also gave me a chance to make his tail like the little fuse of a firework. I realized now what I didn't really like about this design was the pose, also the glove sort of things he has, and his eyes. His eyes I really don't like. So I decided to fix that in the next pass, which I'll show in a second. I feel like if I come back to any line in this video, it's gonna be this one. Not because it's bad, I feel like there's just a bit more I could do with them. So if you guys have any ideas, you can tell me in the comments, but I'm just gonna let this play now. But yeah, here's Feueratt. I'm really happy with this new design I did for him. I think it does him well. And like Jaegolyn's line, here's the little concept art page I made for them. This is my favorite part of it. I just like to point this one out. That's why it's the profile picture. So that concludes the fire starters. Let's go on to our final pick for our starter lines. The water starter. So this is the water starter. Its name's Cariquid. It comes from part of the species name, which is Caridina lanceolata. I believe that's how you say it. And also liquid, because, you know, it's a water type. Initially, I was gonna have the water starter be like a squid, sorta. But I decided against that, because I couldn't find any invention that would work for, like, a squid, you know? When I found out the shrimp existed, I was like, hey, this could actually work with the concept that I'm gonna show when I get to the final stage. Here are some sketches I did of Cariquid before I finalized the design here. Also, fun fact, Lanceolata, the species, does not actually have a common name, so take with that what you will. I just thought that was a little fun fact I could give you, you know? So that's Cariquid. He's a little guy. I really like how I did the eyes. I think they're unique for Pokemon, I guess. But yeah, let's go on to his evolution. For Cariquid's evolution, Shridolata, I wanted to lean into like the sort of shrimp aspect a bit more. Instead of like a normal shrimp, his tail it curls the other way. Wow. I also wanted to give him a little mustache because I just think that's kind of funny. I just think it's kind of funny because the final evolution has a mustache. It's just different. I also wanted to make the claws bigger, I guess, but I realized that in this first draft they look very awkward, and also his face, head shaped nose, his nose, that's what I'm gonna call it, his nose, it looks very awkward. Also the angle's just very off. So I take a second pass at this. I also change a few of the colors, and I add an accent of red. It's very dark red, but it's still red. I feel like I'll revisit Cariquid's evolutions in the future. I'm fine with Cariquid, but I feel like there's a bit more I could do with these evolutions. But I don't know, you guys tell me what you think. I'm gonna let the speed draw play out, so yeah. So yeah, that's Shridolata. I feel like it looks a lot cleaner than the initial drawing, so that's good, I think. And now let's go on to its final evolution. Accudinture is based off of Accudinture, which if you somehow don't know what that is, Accudinture is like the thing where they put needles in you and it stimulates your senses, much like 5-gum. So I wanted to just do that with this guy because, you know, the shrimp got really thin hands that you could like, you know, poke someone with. So I sort of made his arms look like the acupuncture needles, except instead of one needle, it's two. This guy's a water fighting type, and I forgot to mention for Feueratt, he's a fire flying. So you know what that means? Type triangle squared. What? Yeah, except Feueratt, it's kind of unfair because he's quad weak to rock and he's weak to water still. So yeah, it kind of sucks if you have Feueratt. I imagine he'd have some sort of ability to mitigate that. Like maybe like half the damage of super effective moves. I don't know. I'm not really good with bouncing. This isn't even about him. It's about Accudinture. I struggled a bit with the color palette because it was just like all blue. So this is when I brought in the orange and red, which is why I brought the red in for Shridolata, because it would like help with like transition between them, you know. Here's Accudinture. He's cool, I think. Fun fact, he's Lotion Man's favorite from all these guys. Tell me which one of these guys is your favorite in the comments. And thank you guys for watching. This video has been in the works for months. Maybe years even. Okay, maybe years is a bit of a stretch, but was I recording? I'd like to show off a few designs that I made before I settled on these guys. I have 2 water starters and a grass starter, so yeah, I'll let that play, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!